Hi, this is Lori Wan, and welcome. This is just kind of a behind the scenes look on how I actually go about creating my lessons, my PowerPoints, my handouts, and then taking that content and putting it on the website and then sending it out to student participants. So, again, I know I've said this. If you're doing your beta program and you don't have a tremendous amount of time, you don't need to do all of this work. Yes, it's nice to have it done, and it can be incredibly time consuming your first time out. So I would recommend, and I know it takes kind of an extra like shot of courage to just show up live and just talk to your participants, teach them what it is that you need to know, maybe create a handout or two, send them to a YouTube video or something. If you can do that, that's what I recommend. If, on the other hand, you really want to go through this process, you will be much more prepared and you'll have done a lot of the work up front so that it's not as much work down the line. Also, recognize though that I've had years of experience creating content, so it moves pretty quickly for me and it still takes me a lot of time. And I know that after I do it once, I'm still going to have to go back in there and make some changes. But probably 80% of the work is done. I'll probably have to go back in there, change a couple of the handouts, add some content here and there, and probably re edit most of the videos. But I'm going to show you how to do that so that it's really pretty simple. But let's go ahead and dive in and get started. You're here. Let's figure out how we make this happen. Okay, so I create my lesson first. So this is the lesson for Module 6. And basically what I do is from the handout, I copy and paste the module over into my lesson. And you can see, a lot of these things look very familiar. And then I may flesh this out a little bit for me. What is the actual description? What's going on here? So this is my starting point. I want to make sure that I come back and that I cover all these things. Okay. So then my lesson actually starts here. And I write out exactly what it is that I'm going to say so that since I am recording this, I'm not like stumbling over my words. I do enough of that anyway. But I write it out, and you'll have heard this. Hi, welcome to this module of Signature Programs. This module is all about framing or providing some context to your prospects, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I talk about what this module is all about, and then we're picking up from last time. This is part of my system. I just copied and pasted this over from the last lesson. And this week, this is what we're going to do, and this is from my outline. Okay. And then I basically write it out. Why is this important? This is one of the first things I always try and start with. Why are we doing this? Why does this matter? Okay, it gets people to kind of sit up and pay attention and engage with your content. And so then I write out almost my entire lesson. And I go through here and you'll recognize this lesson and I have it. And I talk about, your message, your journey, credentials, training experience, a bit about branding. Now what? Then I have a summary. Now it's your turn, bonus points. And then next time, it was actually module 7 because I moved the modules around, if you may remember, was creating your compelling offer. And I just kind of give it a highlight of what's to come. Okay. So once I have this done, then I go create the PowerPoint. And the reason that I do this in a particular order, sorry if this is annoying, it is kind of annoying, is because I used to work on the PowerPoint, the handout, and the lesson kind of simultaneously, and I'd kind of move back and forth. But what I found was, man, what a waste of time and energy that is. If you make a change in one place, then you have to go change it in all of the other places, or at least I did for the way that my work is lined out. So I do one thing at a time. I get my lesson, 90%. I'm good with this. Then I create the PowerPoint from the lesson. One of the reasons I write it all out is because now I can simply, if I wanted this on my PowerPoint, I'd copy and paste it. Right? If I want this on my PowerPoint, I can just copy and paste it. Yes, I have to reformat it, but I can simply copy and paste it. Okay, I can copy and paste this stuff. Okay, so here is the PowerPoint that I created. And again, I have a template for it that I use. And there you go. Last time. Now, this is what we're going to do. And this is why it's so important. The next piece I wanted to talk about was mindset. I copy and paste this slide, from slide deck to slide deck. I'll take this a step further. I will open for like this lesson. I would have opened the previous PowerPoint and just use that as a template. I have to make sure on the first side I change, it's not letting me do it here for some reason, but I'll change this footer and then I will go duplicate slide. And then that footer is embedded. I know there are easier ways to do it, but that's just how I do it. And then I just change this content. But I digress. I do that. So I use my lesson to create the PowerPoint. And as I'm walking through here and just, again, following through the visuals, seeing if it makes good sense. If I have to change anything, I can go back to my lesson and make the changes there. And then the last thing I do is create the handout. So really, I take my lesson and I go File and I go Save As. And I'll put it back in that folder and I'll save it as a handout. Okay, so now I can delete what I don't need. Delete all of this. I've started to leave more of this information in my lessons. I find that it's been really helpful for my participants. Again, just make sure that we're all on track, that we kind of know where we're at in the big scheme of things. But I will take out what's not as important. And what's nice about this, again, the information that I really need, like the 6 components of the hero's journey, I mean, they're right in there, right? Let's look at what that handout really looks like, because I have it right here. Okay, so all I really did is I go back and I add this. I believe I add, a logo, but it really, here's the activity. I kind of cut out a lot of the other stuff. I leave what notes I think are relevant. I leave a little bit of the information here, just as prompts. But here's the first activity. Took it right from my lesson, bonus points. Here's the second activity. And then I go into this information. I leave space for you to do your work. Here's activity 3, activity 4. Now I give a summary, be consistent across all sales and marketing. So that's basically how I create the content for the lesson. Now, the next step I do, and I love this about Camtasia, and this is one of my favorite aspects of Camtasia. I've used a ton of different editing software over the last 15 years, and for this purpose, it's hard to beat. There's an add-in that you can get, and it's very simple. You just download it from Camtasia, and it allows you to just simply hit record, and then usually it'll go to the first slide. So sorry, I don't know why it did that. Maybe because I was there. I go record, and here I am. It's ready to record. I basically just click this button. I've printed out my lesson so that I can refer to it and I can talk about this module as I go through here. I have my notes. Don't really have to think about a whole lot of things as I'm going through here. And I record it. I'm not going to, what's it going to do now if I click recording? I'm already using Camtasia. I'm using Camtasia to do the screen capture right here. So I'm not sure. I might just have blown everything up. Okay, it says, so this is it. What do you want to do? I want to stop recording that one. But what happens is, once I've done that with Camtasia, it says, okay, you just recorded something. What do you want to do with it? So now I can go file it. And this was, I don't want to clutter up with a lot of stuff, but I'm just going to show you how I go through this. So this is story and message, unique story and message. I'm going to put test because I don't want to, I may go back and edit this one someday. This is the original one. So then I go here and Camtasia says, what do you want to do now? It's like, well, I want to edit my recording. So this is interesting because I am recording Camtasia recording. So it's kind of fun. Okay, so here it comes. And this is what I get. And it shows up. It's got the slides. This is the recording file. It's put it in down here. I'm already using Camtasia. I'm using Camtasia to do the screen capture right here. Okay, so that was what I recorded. Now I can do some real simple edits. Trust me, this stuff is simple with Camtasia. I'm not going to go into all of it here, but I'll just show you. Let's say that I was playing it back because I didn't like this section at all. I simply cut it out. Boom. Okay, I save it. And when I'm ready, I go produce and share. I can add music. I can add all kinds of stuff. Love Camtasia. Super simple. Now let's say I want to get this ready to put on YouTube. So I simply save it. I'm not going to go through. I can tell it where to go and change the name and stuff, but I'm just going to go finish. It will render this project. It takes a little bit longer when it's, 15 or 20 minutes, but here it is. It's going to pop up for me. I don't really want to watch this right now. I'm already using Camtasia. See? Okay. So then I close all of this out. Now, I'm not going to change this. And I'm not going to change anything here. Let me close all of this out and show you then the next steps. And this is how you get your work then online. So you go to your website. So this is the back door of my website. There are a couple different ways to create pages in here. I'll show you very quickly a couple of them. I wish I had known this before. My web guy has been doing this for me for a couple of years now. And I wish I had known this. This is part of educating ourselves, right? Optimize Press lets me create new pages that are already beautifully formulated and laid out. So you can use Optimize Press basically for a lot of different things. In Optimize Press, lead pages, I'm actually thinking about using one called Thrive right now, switching over. And you can use different templates, find one that you like, name your page, and then it'll launch it for you. And boom, you have a really nice template. So that's one way to go about it. That is actually not how I've been doing it. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. Basically, what I had my web guy do, and I mean, it's fine. It worked out just fine. But when I'm getting ready to start a new course, and this was a course that I taught last year, I have him create the structure for it. And then I go in there and I edit each of the pages. So the name of the course that you're taking is still called Ready. It is still called Ready to Sell here. I have to remember, I made some changes to it somewhere. It doesn't always bring it up. Ready to Sell, search pages. Okay, so Ready to Sell. So this is what Greg did. So he created this basically template for me. And I still use Optimize Press to edit. I just wasn't using it to all of its capabilities. So let's take a look at what Greg created for me. And this took him like an hour. Right? So all he did was set up the framework. There was the landing page, which is what this is, and then each of the modules across the top linked. Okay? But let's say now I'm ready to edit, which is basically this last module. So here's module 8. I want to edit this page. And yours may not look exactly like this, but let me tell you, they are so common with a lot of their features and their symbols that you can figure out any system that you choose to use. But let me show you how I actually get my content onto this page. Okay. So a couple things I need to do is I need to get my video online, and I need to get my downloads, my handout online. Let's start with the video. So I have a YouTube page, and you'll need a YouTube page. And basically what you're going to be doing is, if you can't find it, because I find that YouTube pages aren't as easy to navigate as I'd like them to be, I always click my channel and then go to Video Manager or Upload. If you can't find an Upload button, make sure you go back to my channel and you'll be able to find it. So you go to Upload. I select a file to upload. So I would go back to one of those files. It's Camtasia, I have Camtasia save it on my hard drive. For me, it just works better. And then I can back up my hard drive, and I know I always have these files. So I'll navigate to, whatever current. If they're red like this, they're not, you can't, don't upload them. They're not finished products. A finished product for YouTube, this has already been, I took this through the Camtasia stage, and I told it I wanted to produce and share it. And so it converts it to an MP4 file. This is what I want to upload to YouTube. I'm not going to take the time to do it now, but I would simply click on it, and then YouTube will upload it. And after it uploads, I have the option to change, whatever the thumbnail is, what's that first frame look like, and I can change the listing at any time. I typically do most of my coursework as unlisted. Anything that I do want to be public, I make it public. So sometimes I'll leave some of it public so people can, if they happen to be looking for information, they can find some of my work, but not all of it. Okay. So let's say I have uploaded that video. Sorry, I want to go back here. I'm going to go back to my channel. And let's say it's this video. This is actually the next video.
Talk a little bit about lead nurturing.
Okay, Lori, thank you for being so loud. What I'm looking for is this share button, and this is simply the URL. So I can copy this. I go back to my page. Let me show you how I got here. I'm going to add an element. Let's say I want to add a video. So I go to video player. I play this one, and this is where I tell it, this is a YouTube video. Don't use this URL. Use the YouTube video, and then you simply pop it in there. I like to make it as large as possible. If it's on a sales page, I'll probably click auto play so that it does. It plays as soon as someone lands on that page. I like to hide the YouTube logo. It's not a big deal. And then I simply go insert, and voila, the video will show up here, not in edit mode, but in preview mode and when it's live. And that's as simple as it is to embed a YouTube video on your website. So let's look at the handouts. The handouts are very similar. So let's say, and I'm just going to add a new row here because I want to show you how I got to this part. I'm sorry. I want to add an element. In Optimize Press, these are called downloads. Oops, this is download. So it automatically will create these little boxes. I choose one. And let's say I'm going to add something new. I can choose what is the little icon that's going to go with it. This time, let's see, I'll do a PDF. I'm going to select a file. So your handouts need to be uploaded. And you simply would choose the file. It'll say, where is it? You select the file, and then you click upload, and then it'll file it in your media library. Again, I'm not going to take the time to do that now, but I'll show you what that looks like. You go to your media library, and let's say it was this offer, or I'm sorry, this handout, and they're on there twice because one is a PDF and one is a doc. So I check. It's like this is the doc, but that's okay. For the purposes of this, I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the post. It added it here. I give it a name. I give it a full description, and I add insert. That's not going to like me to do that, but I'm not going to waste your time with that. This is the test file. Okay, so now I have my video. Now I have my test file. These are, again, really simple. I can edit my text here. I'm not going to have it in heading. I'm going to put it in paragraph. So again, what we did last week and what we're going to do this week. Oops. I'll insert that. This is just a headline. Same thing. So now let's say my page is pretty much done. I'm going to, I like to go save and continue. Let's just look at it. Saved OK. View your public link first. While you're here, you might as well. Is this, what you want it to look like? Okay, that looks fine to me. So I can close out of this. Now I'm going to go save and close. And I always come down here and go update. If it's the first time you've done any work on this page, it may say publish. Otherwise, update it. WordPress will update some things automatically and some things it won't. So I don't like to have to remember, okay, what is WordPress saving for me now? I just always try and make it a habit of updating. You can't go wrong. So now what? So now my module is up online. Well, now I take this link, I copy the link address, and I go to Aweber. I'm just going to show you very quickly. This is the last step. And again, even if you're not using these same systems, it's all very similar. So you guys are in signature programs. I have all these different lists, but signature programs. And now I'm going to create a message. And for the purpose of this beta program, everything has been a broadcast email. They have not been autoresponders because I'm creating them as I go. For the next iteration of my program, for all intents and purposes, the emails are already done. I'm just going to put them in a follow-up series and assign a date that they go out. But for now, for broadcasts, I'm going to go to drafts. I have a draft message for this lesson. I'm going to click edit. And let's say here's the link for, and I've already changed this text. I was starting to work on this message. And, we just go ahead and copy and paste the URL of the web page in here. And voila, make whatever changes you have to do here. Okay, save and exit. Send options. I will, in about an hour, schedule a broadcast with the finished message, and I'm going to send it out immediately. I'm just going to click send message now. So that's a little bit of a look behind the scenes. I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, by all means, let me know. I'm here to serve and support you, and we all learn faster together. So hope that was helpful. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Stay strong in your business.